Michael, what's today's audio topic?
Today we're comparing two DA converters that each feature two of ESS's top-of-the-line chips, the ONIX Zenith XDA20 and the SMSL SUX.
So, it's a comparison of DACs equipped with top-of-the-line chips, and two of them at that. Master, you'd like to hear the comparison between the Zenith XDA20 and the SUX, right?
Yes, I'd love to hear it.
Did the sound differ between the two units?
Even though they used the same DAC chip, the sound was quite different.
I see. What equipment did you use?
The music source was Qobuz, the network streamer was the LinkPlay WM Ultra, the amplifier was the SMSL PA400, and the speakers were the B&W 805D4.
What were the prices of the two units?
The Zenith XDA20 is $2,399 and the SUX is $900.
Even though they use the same DAC chip, the Zenith XDA20 is more than twice as expensive.
That's right. Since they use the same DAC chip, the cost of the chip itself is probably the same. So, I think the price difference comes from the other components.
What are the spec sheets for the two units?
Here are the spec sheets. Let's go through each item. As I mentioned earlier, both units use the same ES9039 Pro chip. However, only the SUX supports MQA.
What was MQA again?
It's a technology developed to make high-quality, high-resolution audio sources more accessible via streaming and downloads while keeping file sizes small. That said, since the need to compress data for transmission has diminished these days, you could argue that MQA technology isn't really necessary anymore. Both units feature separate DAC chips for the left and right channels, so they should offer excellent channel separation and low noise-to-signal ratio. As for the power supply configuration, the Zenith XDA20 uses two Telema toroidal transformers, while the SUX uses two toroidal transformers as well, though the manufacturer is unknown.
So both units use high-quality components for their key parts.
That's right. The supported formats are the same for both. Only the SUX supports Bluetooth.
Finally, a difference.
The SUX is better for people who use Bluetooth, but for those who don't need it, it's a waste of features.
Is Bluetooth at a disadvantage compared to a wired connection?
Don't you feel, intuitively, that there's a difference between a wired connection using a cable and a Bluetooth connection?
Now that you mention it, you're right. But Bluetooth is convenient because you don't need a cable, and you can play music directly from your smartphone.
Well then, let me list two reasons why Bluetooth is at a disadvantage for audio compared to a wired connection. First, information loss due to data compression, bandwidth limitations. Wired connections can transmit the massive amounts of data from high-resolution audio sources without compression, but Bluetooth has wireless bandwidth limitations, so the data must be compressed before transmission. During compression, high-frequency components and subtle reverberations, which are often considered inaudible to the human ear, are frequently cut, resulting in a loss of the sound's airiness and resolution. Even the high-quality LDAC codec is limited to a maximum of around 990 kbps. In contrast, CD-quality audio requires approximately 1,411 kbps, and high-resolution audio at 24-bit, 192 kHz requires about 9,216 kbps. Consequently, Bluetooth simply cannot deliver the original sound 100%. Second, instability of digital signals and jitter, time domain deviation. In digital audio, precise timing, clock, is a critical factor that determines sound quality. Because Bluetooth transmits data in small packets, jitter, a time-axis misalignment, is likely to occur when the receiving end reassembles them. This leads to muddy sound and blurred soundstage positioning. The 2.4 GHz band used by Bluetooth interferes with many devices, such as Wi-Fi and microwave ovens. This can cause data to drop out or trigger retransmission, which can negatively impact sound quality.
I see. So, when it comes to sound quality, a Bluetooth connection is at a disadvantage compared to a wired connection.
There's really nothing to recommend it besides convenience. That's why the Zenith XDA20 which doesn't include a Bluetooth antenna, is a bold design choice. The signal-to-noise ratio via XLR output is 127 dB for the Zenith XDA20 and 135 dB for the SUX, with the SUX being significantly higher. THD plus N is 0.0003% for the Zenith XDA20 and 0.00005% for the SUX, so the SUX is superior here as well.
So the SUX has the better specs, huh?
Only the Zenith XDA20 is equipped with a headphone amplifier. Both units offer a wide range of digital inputs. The only difference between them is that the Zenith XDA20 features a BNC connection, while the SUX features a USB-C connection.
It doesn't look like you'll have any trouble with inputs on a serious DAC like this.
Both units feature XLR and RCA analog outputs. In terms of size, the Zenith XDA20 measures 320 by 240 by 62 millimeters, while the SUX measures 250 by 217 by 51 millimeters, so the Zenith XDA20 is slightly larger. In terms of weight, the Zenith XDA20 weighs 5.7 kilograms, while the SUX weighs 2.7 kilograms, making the Zenith XDA20 noticeably heavier.
Even though the sizes aren't that different, the Zenith XDA20 is quite a bit heavier.
Despite the minimal difference in size, the reason the Zenith XDA20 is more than twice as heavy as the SUX lies in three factors: the mass of the power transformer, the thickness of the chassis, and the scale of the internal circuitry. This weight difference is a direct result of the luxurious design differences that embody the weight is justice approach in the world of pure audio. Let me explain each of these points. First, power supply transformers. This is the biggest factor in the weight. Transformers account for the largest portion of the weight in any audio equipment. The Zenith XDA20 is equipped with two highly regarded toroidal transformers manufactured by Tolima. Toroidal transformers are extremely heavy due to their construction, which involves tightly winding copper wire around a solid iron core, so simply installing two of them significantly increases the weight. While the SUX also employs a linear power supply with separate digital and analog circuits, SMSL tends to favor high efficiency, compact built-in transformers, or lighter custom modules, prioritizing efficiency and noise isolation over sheer mass. Second, heavy-duty chassis via CNC machining. Even if the external dimensions are similar, the thickness of the metal used is completely different. The Zenith XDA20 features a robust structure where the entire chassis is CNC machined from a thick aluminum block. To block external vibrations and enhance electrical shielding, the chassis itself is intentionally designed with overwhelming thickness and weight. The SUX also uses high-quality aluminum alloy, but since it is constructed by assembling sheet metal parts rather than being machined from a solid block, the weight of the chassis itself is kept to a minimum. Third, large capacitors and the presence of a headphone amplifier circuit. The physical size of the components mounted on the circuit board also plays a role. The Zenith XDA20 is equipped with 4 large Vichy capacitors to smooth the power supply, noise reduction. Furthermore, because it incorporates a powerful analog headphone amplifier circuit, the heat dissipation measures and additional circuit boards required for this purpose add to the weight. The SUX is a pure, single-function DAC. True to its status as SMSL's flagship model, it features a high-density layout packed with 21 operational amplifiers. However, since it does not require large heat sinks or massive smoothing capacitors like a high-output amplifier would, its internal components remain relatively lightweight.
I see. The difference in weight between the two units really reflects the manufacturer's different approaches to sound design.
That's right. Especially when you hold the Zenith XDA20, you can really feel the solidity of the chassis. Compared to that, the SUX feels lighter and more compact.
How do the two actually sound? Is the twofold price difference justifiable, considering they use the same DAC chip?
There's a significant difference in sound. The overall sound is similar since they use the same DAC chip. But the signal-to-noise ratio is completely different. The Zenith XDA20 is far superior. The silence of the Zenith XDA20 is amazing. I was also concerned about the twofold price difference, but when you actually listen to the sound, the price difference makes sense.
I see. So it's not just the DAC chip, the build quality of the chassis and the internal design also affect the sound quality. By the way, how does the sound of the Zenith XDA20 compare to the topping D900 that Michael tried out before?
I'm sure everyone's curious about that. To put it simply, it comes down to personal preference. The Zenith XDA20 offers extremely high resolution and a crisp, sharp sound, while the D900 has slightly lower resolution but gives the sound a certain luster. The sound characteristics of the Zenith XDA20 and the D900 are clearly different, but it's hard to say which one is better.
I see. Since they're both mid-range DACs, it feels like each has its own strengths. Master, wasn't today's comparison of DACs equipped with the same chip interesting?
Yes, interesting.
Next time, we'll bring you a review of ONIX's SACD CD transport, the Zenith XSD20. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.